everyone. My name is Bill Maston. I am Senior Vice President at Leo Learning for North America. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about Leo Learning and particularly one of our programs that we ran for the National Health Service in the UK. I'll give you some of the detail and some of the results that we generated by running that program with the NHS. What is Leo, if you're not familiar? Leo is a end-to-end learning consultancy. Really, our mission is to move learning to the heart of business strategy. We help organizations doing that by enabling all kinds of programs within the organization: micro-learning, social learning, creative content, gamification, all those mechanisms that can help us really make learning impactful in your organization. Leo is part of LTG, which is Learning Technologies Group. It's a company based in the UK. And really their charter is to bring together the best of breed learning organizations, learning companies in the world to be able to offer the most compelling set of services and products to our clients. Leo is the end-to-end learning solution component of that. And around the outside, you can see that Gomo Learning is another one of our sister company. It is a cloud-based, award-winning authoring and hosting analytics tool. Preloaded is a game company that helps with gamification and all games with purpose. So some really potent game theory coming out of that, being able to be utilized in a learning context. Rustici Software are really kind of the focuses on standards, and we're the early adopters and promoters of the SCORM specification. Now they've moved on to the Experience API and really help draft that specification, actually. And so they're a major force within the group that help us really do correlations between real-world measurements, metrics, and learning data or learning experiences. And there's some other pieces of the group as well, but just to move on, Leo, we've won a ton of awards over the years. Leo was put together through a merger with Line Communication and Epic Learning in the UK a few years back, and we have a long history, over 30 years, of doing digital learning solutions. So a lot to take a look at in Leo's history, a very rich history. We have main offices in the UK, in Brazil, and in the US are headquartered in New York. So that's our base of operations in the New York area, actually in Lower Manhattan. As far as what our services are, really an end-to-end service offering with strategy, content, platforms, and different approaches, including blended, which I'm going to be talking about today with relation to the NHS program. And again, all things learning are really our focus. Here's a list of some of the clients we've worked with. You know, you can go to our website and take a look at some of the examples with, like, for instance, Jaguar Land Rover. Really compelling content we've created with them, as well as on the platform side, Civil Service Learning, one of the largest Moodle deployments that is in existence, is actually for the civil service in the UK. And we have a number of customers in the US market as well that I can talk to. But the reason we're here today really is to talk about the National Health Service. And this is an organization that is one of the largest employers in the world, 1.3 million people. And they came under scrutiny in 2013 when the Francis Report was released. And the Francis Report really, and there was a number of reasons, including an aging population, as well as resource constraints and whatnot. But the Francis Report really opened the door to looking at some of the problems in the NHS. And once that was released, what occurred was a consortium put together by the government that included KPMG, Harvard, Leo as key pieces of that, to come up with a plan to help inspire leadership all through the organization at the NHS. And really what this, from an outcome perspective, relates to is survivability, people living through the experience. It has to do with the quality and care that people were getting. So it was a big deal to come up with a plan to help drive leadership through the organization. So what Leo's part of it was, and I'm going to show you this in a second, is actually the portal that delivers the program, as well as 1,200 hours of blended content. So I'm going to give you showcase some of that in just a second. Here's some more examples of the Leadership Academy, which you'll see. All right, so some of the results that we saw from this program. An active cohort will be 2,500 people moving through the program at one time. Some of the other metrics, 3.1 million hours of learning in the first year. Very impressive, 4.5 million hits. I think on the site, I think the more important metric though is 200,000 posts. So that social interaction and engagement and participation was really active on the site, and I think that was one of the major points that made it as successful as it was. So with that, I'm going to go to the actual program website. So this is the NHS Leadership Academy portal, and so what I want to show you today is that the portal itself. I'm going to take you right into one of the topics that we're showcasing, and what you'll see as we scroll down through this particular topic is that there's a number of blended learning components. So there's blog entries, there's manager employee discussion points through the topics, so that you have more than just a e-learning experience. You have a truly blended work, learning embedded in work type experience through this process. What I want to show you next is some of the most powerful pieces of content that we created, which was a video-based, scenario-based branching of content. So I'll give you some examples here with responding to a complaint. And here's an example where a patient is being brought into a hospital, and there's a series of decisions that need to be made, and really what it boils down to is leadership decisions about whether the nurse is making the decisions or others to make the right decision to minimize any kind of issue with this patient kind of being taken into the hospital. So I'm going to show you the video itself here for a second, and then I'm going to jump ahead and show you the next piece of it, which really is the nurse having to get a little bit more backstory and then making the final decision about what the recommendation is going to be. So here's at this point the patient has been brought into the organization or to the hospital. Then the nurse is being given the backstory and giving exactly the detail about what the doctor has suggested and what the patient has suggested, and given the feedback. And then at the very end of this is really the point where, in a very safe environment, the nurse can make a decision about whether she's recommending to discharge or whether to delay the discharge based on whether the patient is experiencing pain or whatever the actual situation is. And so the important point here is that you can not only in a safe environment make that decision, but also make a decision about how comfortable you are with that decision. And then based on that, what will happen is you're given a particular video response to be able to help mentor you towards a leadership attribute that that aligns with what you're trying to do in the hospital and in that environment. So, very compelling, high quality video that creates an opportunity for people to really aspire to a greater leadership attribute in an organization. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and any questions you have, please come to leolearning.com and take a look at us. Thank you.